Orchot Tzadikim. Rabbi Shimon ben Chalafta said in Masechet Sotah, from the day miyom shegavra egrofa shel hanufa, nitavtu adinim nitkalkelu maasim. From the day the fist of flattery grew strong, laws were perverted and deeds were rendered defective. And no one could say to his fellow man, my deeds are greater than yours. So when the laws get perverted, when there's flattery, right? What happened? The guy is the judge, or he's an administrator in a certain government office. And then there's a guy who flatters him. He comes to his restaurant, he gives him special attention, he goes and he plays golf with him, and he schmoozes him up over there. So now he needs a favor. He's, listen, you know me, I need you to, make it happen. Jump through some hoops and do something you wouldn't do for a regular person. So now the law says, I have to, listen, you can't be above the law. You have to follow the rules. You can't get your own set of rules. But at the end of the day, because he flattered him, so he feels, okay, for my friends, there's this thing, PBA cards, right? So what is it? You have a card that says you're related, that you're close, your relationship with some cop. So you do a small infraction, you ran a stop sign, whatever. So you show him a PBA card. Okay. Who do you know? I know Detective so and so. Okay, let go. It's okay. It's fine. It's flattery. That's straight up what it is. But the next guy who doesn't have his card, he's gonna get a ticket. Yeah, that's how it works. It is what it is. If you're friends with the guy, if you have a card that says you're a friend with the guy, so you're good. So you see, the laws get perverted, all based on from the day the flattery grew strong.
Protects you.
Yeah, protects you. Rabbi Zino said, all men who have flattery in them bring wrath to the world, as it says, "V'chanfei lev yasimu af." Those who have flattery in their hearts will bring down wrath. What is more, they cause their prayers not to be heard. Their prayers will not avail. Why? Because a lot of times people who rely on flattery, they rely on people. Al tiftehu bin divim. Right? Do not rely on the nobleman. You know who I know? That's how people start talking. You know who I know? I can make all this go away in 1 second. I call this guy, he knows this guy, boom. Bada bing, bada boom. So he starts relying on people and not relying on Hashem. And in the end, what does the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot say? Don't be close to the Rashut. Don't be close to the government officials. Why? Because they will use you when it benefits them. But the second it doesn't benefit them, they throw you out. And then you're going to say, oh, people, why? I relied on them. I did so much for them. Look how people threw me and corrupted and threw me out. And they should have realized they should rely on Hashem. Even fetuses in their mother's womb curse the ones who flatter, and they will fall again. All who flatter a wicked person, in the end will fall into his hand. And if he will not fall into his hand, he will fall into the hand of his son. Right? What happened? The guy who was higher up in the government, right? And he flattered him and he helped him, and he was a wicked guy. He says, I'm your friend, right? Yeah, no problem. You need help, I'm here for you. I'll cut this corner for you, cut that corner for you. And in the end, you need him later in life. He say, hey, I helped you, I flattered you, I gave you bribes, I gave you everything. Listen, I can't help you now. What do you mean? You're my friend. I'm in trouble now. I need you to see you're the only one who could take me out of this situation. Listen, I'm sorry. Or even worse, they say, who, what, when? What are you talking about? Do I know you? Right? Because he really the guy who could have helped him. Now he's getting flattered by some bigger guy. So he has to help him. He can't help you no more. So in the end, you fall into his hand, and not into his hand, even into the hand of his son. Every community that has in it flattery is as repulsive as nidah, and in the end is exile. Hazal shalom. People can't live there. People have to leave and start a new community somewhere else. Flattery is bad, we said, when it's with wicked people. You want to get something from someone wicked, so therefore you flatter him, you allow him to think that he's a good person, you allow him to think that you're his friend and approve of his behavior, you allow him to think that as long as he gives you favors and money, it's okay how he behaves, and rather we're not supposed to even look at the face of Rasha, we're supposed to rebuke or disassociate ourselves from such people. But in the end, there's a cool people club, there's the rich people club, there's the famous last names club, and everybody wants to be part of that club, so they flatter and they say, the famous case we spoke about many times is the yes man. The guy, there's the multi-billionaire, and you have all these people around him, and all of a sudden everything he says, yes, you're right, yeah, that's amazing, yeah. They agree with everything he says. Why? Because they want to be in his entourage. They want to mooch off of him. He flies to Dubai, we get to fly to Dubai also. He gets to eat in a 5-star restaurant, we get to eat with him too. So of course we're going to say yes to everything. One day, maybe he'll be in a good mood. He'll start giving Ferraris to everybody. Who knows? Who knows what these people can do today? So I'll just massage him here, tell him what he wants to hear, and flatter him. And that's what people do. On a small scale, bigger scale, it applies to everybody. Therefore, one should remove himself from flattery and not flatter someone to validate him in his evil, even if he stands to receive many favors from him. Not his relative, not his children, because the person will, Chas Shalom, enable him to go and think what he's doing is okay. What has happened? The story. There was a certain virtuous man who had a daughter to marry off, and there were two suitors. There was two people who wanted to marry her. So the father went and asked someone to start a quarrel with him, so as to ask these two suitors to judge between them in order to test them. So what did he do? So the guy went and spunked them he made a fake fight between him and another person, and he asked these two suitors to come and decide who's right, who's wrong, to go see how they'll judge. So they did so. One of the suitors flattered the father so he could win his daughter. And then he pronounced on him right on the spot that I'm going to give my daughter to the other one. Why? He says, he must be a good man if he did not flatter me and did not favor me. What did he say? A guy said, listen, I'm sorry, Mr. So-and-so. I respect you a lot, but I have to tell you, you're wrong. And this time, you're wrong. Some people, they're scared. They don't want to lose the approval of the... Right, like the producers in the studios. We can't lose the ratings. We got to get the ratings. We got to give the people what they want, right? We got to tell the guy what he likes to hear. And other people say, listen, I can respect you, but here, you're wrong. I don't agree with you. Over here, emet is emet. It doesn't mean I hate you or whatever. Don't take it personal, but I can't flatter you. Over here, he chose him as a domot. Therefore, one who is a community leader or a judge or gives out charity must not be a flatterer. Because if he flatters someone instead of rebuking him, the entire community will be spoiled. And each one will say, the Parnas flattered that man. They will not accept this reproof. What happens? So the rabbi, he flatters somebody, right? He says, Rabbi, I don't understand. They tell each other, the people in the community tell each other, see this rabbi? He's fake. Why? Look, when the rich people come, he's hee-hee, hoo-ha with them, and he gives them attention. And us, well, because we don't give the big bucks, so we're nobody to him. And then we see them. They come to shul in the car. They come and they come natzanua. They come and they don't wear kippah and they don't make bracha and they talk during davening. He doesn't rebuke them. He just hoo-ha with them. What is that? For me, whenever this rabbi speaks, I don't listen. That's it. My book is off. So what happened? From a little flattery, so now he lost all his credibility. Chas v'shalom. So now, people who are community leaders have to be very careful not to be doing this, not just because you yourself are not rebuking it, it's a problem. The whole community suffers. Now, the whole community, the structure of how it's supposed to be is not there because they invalidated you. In their book, they wrote you off because they see that you're a flatterer. Okay, so therefore he says the guy who gives out charity also, if he flatters and gives charity, he's the one who flatters them, or who flatter him, and he gives charity even though they're not deserving of it, right? So the guy doesn't deserve the charity. The other people are more important, and because he flatters them, I'll cut you a check. I'll give you a charity because you flattered me. Happens a lot. People, they want to be part of an organization because they're going to be a board member, or because they're going to get a big plaque and award at the dinner. That's all flattery also. If he's doing it just for that reason, listen, we need a big check from you. Can you help us? We're making a campaign now. And we're going to give you, the Torah Builder Award, the Chesed, the Pillar of Chesed Award. We're going to have a big gala. We're going to give you the award over there. And the guy does it because of that. That's the only reason he gave the tzedakah. So that's it. They flatter him, and that's how they got tzedakah. So therefore, it's not right how to do it that way also. Person has to do the Shem Shamayim. The worst of all flatteries is flattering others to cause them to sin. Or in the case where one is having a dispute, and you flatter others to aid him and thus confirm him in his wrong, or as one pursuing transgressions, such as illicit relations and other evils. The worst is when you make another person sin. So you flatter the guy, you butter him up, you speak to his heart, and you convince him to do a sin. No, don't worry, I got you. You're good, you're smart, you're never going to get caught. No, it's okay. You go and you sweet talk him to do a sin. That's the worst. As it says by Shlomo, Yeravam ben Avad merited to be a king for not having flattered Shlomo, but having rebuked him for building of the Milo. Building Milo, what happened? Shlomo built a palace for Pharaoh's daughter. And Yeravam rebuked him. He's Shlomo HaMelech. What are you rebuking him? No, I don't care. He's Shlomo HaMelech. Rebuke his emet, and the emet is emet. The palace blocked the openings of the gates where David HaMelech opened to access Beit HaMikdash. Yeravam rebuked him, and since he rebuked him, he was zochet to become the king. Even though he could be whoever he is. You could be Shlomo HaMelech. If it's emet, it's emet. Baruch Ne'olam.